Salute, salute. Salute to the eternal most high, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We gonna say trolls only God and your mama can love you. And last but not least, I say one time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I say one time. Yeah, yeah. Say one time. Yeah, y'all know what it is, man. We gonna get into it today, man. It is a lot going on. I wait for my moderators to come in. You know what I mean? We gonna get into this whole FBA thing today. We gonna get into this FBA thing. Paper genocide, you know what I'm saying? Hidden identities, government affiliations, surnames. We covering everything, y'all. We covering everything. We're covering everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just waiting on a few to get in here. Waiting on a few to get in here. And we'll see what it do. We'll see what it do. We'll see what it do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? We gonna get into it today, y'all. They really gonna be mad. They always mad, but they really gonna be mad today, y'all. Truth, they ain't never happy. They always mad, but they really gonna be mad today, y'all. They really gonna be mad. See, I figured out not only do people hate when you speak the truth, they hate when you can back it up, and they also hate when they're not on the receiving end of that truth. You know what I mean? They don't like it at all. They know likey. They know likey at all. You know, so we gonna keep the pressure on. Grand rising, brother Money Mike. How we doing? How we doing, brother? Yeah, yeah, yeah. How we doing, my man? Oh, we gonna apply some pressure today, man. You ready to apply some pressure to this FBA thing, man? You ready to apply some pressure, Money Mike? Huh? Y'all know we don't lay African American to rest. That love here with Jesse Jackson. We wasn't never subscribing to it anyways, but are we ready to delineate? You know what I'm saying? To make this thing officially official. You know what I mean? I'm kind of excited about this, y'all. I'm kind of excited about this. And it's crazy that he left here in Black History Month and the term African American left here with him in the middle of foundational Black American History Month. This almost seems divine in a way, y'all. This almost seems divine in a way. It almost seems divine. May he rest in peace. May his soul rest. You know what I'm saying? But this almost seems divine is the only word I could think of, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get into it, man. We gonna get into it. I was trying to on some more moderators. If you're a moderator and you're hiding in the back, as you come in, say something. Get your acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? Get your acknowledgement. If you blue, you know what it do. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Hey, but we gonna get it, man. Money Mike, you ready to pop this thing off, Money Mike? Money Mike, you got your fingers ready, Money Mike? What's up, Johnny Walker? What's up, Johnny Walker? You know what I'm saying? Y'all got y'all mod squad, you know what I'm saying, top flight security fingers ready tonight. Cause y'all gonna need it, man. Y'all gonna need it, I promise. Y'all gonna need it. They gonna be big mad. You know what I'm saying? They gonna be big mad. Let's go. That's what I've been waiting to hear. Okay, so we've covered lots of things. We forementioned the paper genocide aspect of things a few times, but we never really focused on it. So tonight, I want to really focus on the paper genocide. We're always talking about the reclassifications. We're talking about the culture, the lineage. You know what I'm saying? What up with your bowhead? What up with you? I like how you did that. What up, D-O double G? I like how you did that. You know what I'm saying? What up, D-O double G? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We ready. That's for the after party, y'all. That's the after show. You know what I'm saying? That's the after party after the party. You know what I mean? But anyways, man, let's get into it. No need to waste time. We got some haters to make mad. All right. So I always tell y'all to follow Mike TV. You know what I mean? And I bring Mike TV to y'all a lot because Mike is really out here doing the work. All right. So this one's called U.S. Government Admits Black Folks Are Not from Africa. That's right. That's right. I told you this stuff was documented, ladies and gentlemen. I told you they were hiding our identity for a reason. What's up, Colonel Sanders? Y'all see my nephew? Y'all see my nephew? What's up, nephew? Love you, man. Hey, we gotta get those likes up, man. Y'all know how it goes, man. When you come in, you know what I'm saying? You got to show some southern hospitality, you know what I'm saying? Some genuineness. Wipe your feet on that uncut welcome mat by hitting that like button, man. If you hit that like button and they hit you back, I always tell y'all we'll gang on, boy. We'll jump it. Y'all know what to do. We'll jump that like button if it hits you back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, come on, y'all. Let's light this thing up, y'all. Let's go. Let's go.
Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation. They don't want you to.
I'm good. I knew that was coming. I'm good, y'all. I'm good.
He's not going to be able to give me any archaeological
wait.
evidence that we all listen. Which people successfully prove.
I'm not as good as I thought I was. I was trying to pass the music.
But what I'm that people would immediately dismiss because it challenges everything we've been taught about. Yo, pigment. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that sounds unbelievable at first. It sounds like something that people would immediately dismiss because it challenges everything we've been taught about race, slavery, and identity in America.
Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen.
What I'm going to walk you through is not speculation, not mythology, not internet folklore. It is documented in court records. It is documented in colonial law. It is documented in government archives. And in a quiet, technical, legal way, the United States government has already admitted it. Tonight, we're talking about the enslavement of American Indians, the systematic reclassification of dark-skinned indigenous people as Negro or mulatto, and the documented court cases where enslaved people successfully proved they were Indian and won their freedom. And once you understand this pattern, you will understand why so many Black Americans were never encouraged to investigate their lineage deeply, because the deeper you go, the more unstable the official narrative becomes.
I told y'all.
Let's get into it, y'all.
I told y'all, you got to doubt everything they tell you. You got to doubt everything. You have to doubt everything. If you don't doubt, man, next thing you know, indoctrination. You know what I'm saying? You got to doubt everything. I want y'all to really see this. So y'all give me a minute. Y'all know I always set this thing up. But I want y'all to see these pictures and everything. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to see everything. We ain't even playing with it today. I want y'all to see everything.
Let's get into it. You see, before we even discuss African chattel slavery in British North America, we've got to address something that most textbooks mention briefly and move past quickly: Indian slavery. From the late 1400s forward, Europeans enslaved indigenous people across the Americas. Columbus himself shipped indigenous captives back to Spain. The Spanish enslaved Taino and Arawak populations throughout the Caribbean. The Portuguese enslaved indigenous Brazilians. The French and the English participated in native slave trading networks. And in the English colonies, especially in the Carolinas, Indian slavery was not minor, it was foundational. Between 1670 and 1715, historians estimate that tens of thousands of American Indians were captured and sold through the Carolina slave trade, with numbers commonly cited between 30,000 and 50,000 individuals. These captives were sold to Caribbean plantations, forced into agricultural labor in the colonies, and transported across colonial borders.
I want y'all to think about Thanksgiving right now. Think about how he said, like, basically, this is This is the foundation basically in the Carolinas. This is the tradition at the time. Look at the years he gave and think about Thanksgiving and think about those Indians. And now he's verifying that there's government documents saying that those Indians here, once Columbus touched down, was also put into slavery. Foundational Black Americans, y'all. This thing is coming together. This thing is coming together. See, I told y'all, that's why they wanted us to think that we were African, because they know what they did to our ancestors who were the Black tribal members here at the time when they landed. They know they owe us reparations right here. It's not from Africa. As long as they can get you to subscribe to a foreign deity, they don't have to pay you reparations on their domestic soil. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This is paper genocide right here. Paper genocide. This thing is deep.
This was happening before any African slavery would become a labor system in British America. You see, that fact alone disrupts the simplified timeline that many of us were taught. When we hear slavery in America, we immediately think of African. But in the 1600s, particularly in the Southeast, Indian slavery was widespread and profitable. That's not theory, that is documented colonial history.
Documented colonial history.
Now, if Indian slavery was so widespread, why don't we hear?
Who heard about this in school? Who heard about this in history class in public school? Who heard about this? Because I personally didn't hear about this. I heard about the J community. I heard about chattel slavery. You know what I mean? Who heard about this? Who heard about this? Who knew that those Indians, you know what I'm saying? Who knew that those Indians were actually us, y'all? Right. Somebody said Brazil got 5 million slaves from Africa. Somebody is doing their research. Somebody is on point. Let's get those like buttons up, y'all. Let's hit that like button. You know, let's hit that like button. See, these people are telling you who they are, man. Let's go.
More about it. Because by the early 1700s, colonial governments began outlawing Indian slavery on paper. Not because of morality, because of strategy. The enslavement of local tribes destabilized alliances and contributed to massive uprisings like the Yamasee War of 1715, a conflict so devastating it nearly destroyed the South Carolina colony. You see, colonists realized that they could not enslave every surrounding tribe and still maintain trade, military alliances, and territorial stability. So Indian slavery was outlawed. But outlawing Indian slavery did not end the capture of indigenous people. It ended the category. If Indian could not legally be enslaved, then the solution was bureaucratic. Reclassify them. Slave catchers continually captured dark-skinned indigenous people during raids or frontier conflicts. Only now...
Y'all missed two key words. Two key words. Dark skin and indigenous. They continued to capture right here on American soil before it was deemed America. Black and indigenous individuals, y'all. Black and indigenous. See how you associated black and indigenous together? I constantly tell y'all not to be racist, but if you are not dark, if you are not melanated of some sort, you are definitely not indigenous to this land. Not this land. And he's going off of Christopher Columbus accounts right now, y'all. Christopher Columbus accounts right now. See, they know who we are. They know who we are. And that's why we're reclassified so much. You know what I'm saying? Listen, that is why they fear us. They fear us finding out the truth. That's why all these racists pop up saying the things that they say. You know what I'm saying? We're dismantling their system, y'all. We're waking up. Well, I've been woke. I've been conscious. But a lot of y'all are starting to wake up now. You know what I'm saying?
Instead of labeling them Indian, they labeled them Negro,
Bam.
mulatto, or colored. The body remained the same. The paperwork changed. That is what we call paper genocide. You see, the administrative erasure.
Paper genocide and or reclassifications, ladies and gentlemen. And or reclassifications, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And or This ain't about the barbaric slave trade. This ain't about the Mediterranean slave trade. No, none of that. Ain't no none. Stop trying to include yourself. Stop. Damn. Stop trying to include yourself. It was y'all that did it to y'all. Why you bringing it up? So find out who did it to you, and you can fight with us to get your reparations too. But I'm pretty sure you got them because y'all were some of the same people who were enslaved, who helped enslave us and did malicious things to us as well. Come on, man.
Of identity through record manipulation.
This records conversations better than taking notes ever could. This is Pocket.
Say about y'all. Always trying to include y'all stuff in something and play victim. Y'all can't play victim when y'all the damn victimizers, man.
So you don't have to. I use it for meetings.
Now let's get into some of the court cases, shall we? Because this is where things become undeniable. Because this is where the legal system itself exposes what was really happening. Let's talk about Hudgens.
And y'all know who run the system. The same people who run the system now. See, this is easy. So when we say systemic racism, when they ask you what policies were put in place to keep you oppressed, you just discovered another one. When they ask you what you've been through, here's another one, y'all. Here's another rendition of it all. Here it is. Play by play, y'all. Method of operation. Having the right people in the right places to create the right system to benefit white supremacy. To omit and redact the truth about everyone else, but to glorify themselves as if they're a powerhouse. You see what I'm saying? As if they're a powerhouse, as if they're the superior species, the superior being. And they're not. Because when you're superior, you don't have to do things like this. You don't.
Versus Wright. This was decided in 1806 by the Virginia Supreme Court. In this case, Jackie Wright and her children, who were enslaved, sued for their freedom. Their argument was simple but powerful. They were descendant from a Native American woman, and under Virginia law, Indians could not be enslaved. The case actually reached the highest court in Virginia, and the court ruled in their favor. The judges examined maternal lineage, testimony, and even referenced physical appearance, phenotype, and distinguishing indigenous ancestry from African ancestry. The court acknowledged that enslaved individuals classified as Negro.
Who saw those hands? Who saw those hands just now? God darn it, those hands look just like my hands. Those hands look just like my hands. Those hands look just like my hands. Real talk. Real talk. Let's roll. Let's roll. Look at them hands, y'all. Look at these. Look, come on, man. Come on, man.
They were descendant from a Native American woman, and under Virginia law, Indians could not be enslaved. The case actually reached the highest court in Virginia, and the court ruled in their favor. The judges examined maternal lineage, testimony, and even referenced physical appearance, phenotype, and distinguishing indigenous ancestry from African ancestry.
Copper
The court
color.
acknowledged that enslaved individuals classified as Negro might actually be indigenous. That Indian.
Did y'all see the copper pennies on top of the copper colored black hand, y'all? Copper color. Copper color. We call it black now because the government has indoctrinated us to say black. Oh, we getting somewhere. There's too many accounts of this, and I wanted y'all to see those pictures. I wanted y'all to see that. You know what I'm saying? They can't lie. This is why they get upset. This is why they're mad about us delineating. And I feel like everybody who's against the FBA delineating is also for this white supremacist system, y'all. No matter what race you are, if you're against a group of people delineating in their indigenous ground, on their indigenous land, then you are part of the problem. You are part of the reclassification. You are part of the paper genocide. You are part of the oppression. Real talk. What's up with you, Casey? You are part of the oppression. Let's go. I told y'all them haters gonna get mad. Them haters gonna get mad. Look, y'all. Look, black Indian tribes. Look, y'all. Look, y'all. Look, y'all. Look, y'all. You sound like a fool. So our greatest enemies are our young. Our greatest enemies are your culture. You're young. You're old. You're young. You're everybody. You're everybody. White supremacy. Even the FBI said that white supremacy is the number one terror, domestic terror group in the country. In the country. And they put that out there in like 2005 and put it out there again in 2010. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I told you, they don't like the truth. They're going to get big mad, y'all. Y'all hit that like button. They're going to get big mad tonight. I told y'all, the gig is up. We tearing down the foundations of it. And if they weren't subscribed to it, if they was good folks rather than racist people, then they wouldn't be saying the things that they're saying now. They'd be listening and learning. You understand what I'm saying? And they wouldn't want to be associated with that great American lie. They wouldn't want to be associated with that dishonesty. You know what I'm saying? That miseducation. But white people, y'all have been misinformed and miseducated too. Y'all have been misformed and miseducated as well. So this is a learning experience for us all. Truthfully, this is a learning experience for us all because y'all can't say that y'all knew this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't say that y'all knew this. Y'all can't say that y'all was taught this in school either. We went to school with y'all. Trust me, if we didn't learn it, y'all didn't learn it. And I had honors classes, all advanced classes, and I didn't learn this. Let's go.
Ancestry legally invalidated enslavement and that the burden of proof fell on the enslaver to demonstrate African descent. And that really became monumental because if someone could be captured, sold as Negro, and later prove they were Indian, win their freedom, then misclassification was happening. And not rarely enough to ignore. This was not a one off. Hodges versus Wright was not isolated. In 1813, there's also the case of Queen versus Hepburn, and this reached the United States Supreme Court. The plaintiff sued for freedom, claiming descent from a free Native American woman. The Supreme Court did not reject the principle that Native maternal descent conferred freedom. Instead, they disputed the evidentiary standards, whether hearsay testimony could be admitted. That means the court accepted the legal foundation that indigenous.
Hey, y'all see the comments they leaving? I'm not going to read them. If they send a super chat, I'll read them. But other than that, Money Mike, you know what I'm saying? Y'all keep doing y'all thing as the moderators. Get them out of here. Take their voice away. See, they know the truth. They're just mad that we know the truth. They're just mad. They're mad. Some fool came in here and said our young, our young is our greatest threat. No, your culture, your young. It's your young that's out here doing these mass public unalivings. It's your young that's dressing up in trance and taking out your churches and everything else. You know what I mean? That is y'all. That is y'all.
Descent nullified enslavement. So throughout the 18th and the early 19th centuries, Maryland courts heard numerous freedom suits from individuals claiming descent from native tribes, such as the Piscataway. You've got historians studying
Money
Maryland's
Mike,
freedom
boy.
suits, documenting dozens.
Money Mike. Salute, soldier. Money Mike ain't playing. Money Mike ain't playing.
And dozens of cases where people classified as mulatto or Negro argued indigenous maternal ancestry to secure freedom. Some succeeded, some did not. But the frequency itself tells us something, that the system recognized the possibility that enslaved Black people were actually indigenous. In Virginia and other colonies, additional freedom suits examined community reputation, witness testimony, physical appearance.
Look, this fool coming down, so obviously you don't know propaganda from reality. This man is he's quoting court cases. How is that propaganda? That is documented. Boy, y'all IQ level is about as low as the Arctic temperatures where you come from in the Caucasus Mountains. This don't make no sense. Y'all quit to have a low IQ just to be racist. But truthfully, y'all have the lowest IQ, some of you have the lowest IQ I've ever seen. The only part of the white race I've seen that's got a high IQ is the white folks, not the white people, y'all. You know what I'm saying? The white people are the racists, but the white folks, that's humanity. You know what I'm saying? That's what we embrace. That's humanity. And they know the difference. They know the difference. They stand with us. They stand on the side of the truth, y'all. We have moderators who don't look like us that would tell you the same thing and agree with us. So the people that's coming here saying the things that they're saying, well, these are the people that benefit from slavery. These are the people that benefit from never paying those reparations. These are the people who want their culture, their lineage to look squeaky clean so that their kids don't have to feel like victims. That's why they don't want the truth out. They don't want their young to feel like victims within the next 10, 20 years. But if the shoe fits, wear it.
And maternal lineage, courts repeatedly acknowledged that if the mother was Indian, the child was free. Now, think about that structurally. If enslaved people labeled as Negro had...
All right, take it easy, Money Mike, because use the cloud, they didn't say nothing wrong. They were just saying, yes, yes, they were agreeing with me. Use the cloud was agreeing with me. Yes, yes, yes. I think they was agreeing with me. I don't think they were being sarcastic. We'll see. We'll see, Mike.
To prove they were Indian to gain freedom, then indigenous ancestry existed within the enslaved population in meaningful numbers.
That's right, Michael.
Otherwise,
Augustus.
there would be no reoccurring litigation, right? Come on. Now,
reoccurring litigation. You can't sue if something didn't take place. You've got to be able to prove. See, they don't have to prove that. You don't have to prove that you didn't do it. They have to prove that someone else did it. You know what I'm saying? Let me make sure I'm getting this right. When you're in court, it's their job to make sure they can prove you guilty. You don't have to prove yourself innocent. You know what I mean? If their evidence doesn't line up, if their exhibits don't line up, more than likely you're not going to be convicted. More than likely there's not going to be a case. You won't even get a docket number. You know what I mean? You won't even get a docket number. But look, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Don't come in here with that Irish stuff. We just went through that, last night? Yeah, we ain't going to go here with that Irish stuff because Irish people, y'all keep lying. Y'all keep lying. Y'all keep. Why everybody want to be included with what our people went through? Y'all didn't go through nothing. It didn't last that long. It didn't last that long. Y'all didn't go through what we went through, man. Y'all ate us. 1.4 million African slaves died on a slave ship to Brazil and everywhere else. And y'all know what you did with them? You ate them. Cannibalism. You ate them. What Irishman was ate? Huh? What Irishman was ate? I want to know. Because y'all saying Irish people had slaves too. Y'all enslaved black people and Indians. But you want us to feel sorry for you. Maybe that was your chickens coming home to roost. Maybe. We're going to keep this about FBA. If I have to turn the comments off, I will.
Understand the implications. If large numbers of enslaved people were indigenous, then the narrative of purely African slave origins becomes incomplete. The legality of enslavement becomes questionable. Land treaties become more complicated. Sovereignty claims become destabilizing. The colonial and later American system needed racial clarity. It needed Negro to be permanent, inheritable, and unquestioned. Over time,
and y'all don't think Jesse Jackson was playing into this mess, this propaganda when he labeled us African Americans? Y'all really think Jesse Jackson didn't have no clue if he was the protege of Martin Luther King Jr., who they also used? Huh? Grand design. They had to get someone to look like us in order to do it.
Recognition of Indian identity among dark-skinned populations diminished. Census records hardened. The categories shrinked. By the early 20th century, officials like Walter Plecker in Virginia aggressively reclassified indigenous communities as colored. Birth certificates were altered, tribal identities were denied, records were rewritten, communities that had long identified as Indian were administratively absorbed into a Black racial category. And that was not accidental. That was bureaucratic policy.
Reclassification.
Come on.
Men over
Proving
60
it.
should not be
Proving
running,
it. Receipts,
lifting,
y'all.
or crunching. There's a smarter way. It's called chair tight.
Receipts. Receipts. Receipts, y'all.
Now, this is why documentation matters. On my website, nativeblackancestry.com, I preserve firsthand accounts of American Indians who were captured and sold into plantation slavery in the South. And these are archival testimonies, recorded narratives, historical documents that.
Bruh. I don't care about the Irish and what the Irish went through. Let them start a channel and let them fight for their Irish rights. All right, that's your problem. You're trying to help everyone else instead of helping yourself. Okay, Irish are still considered white. White people did it to white people. How many times did they rub it in your face? Oh, Africans sold blacks into slavery. Okay, now's the perfect time to say white sold whites into slavery, except they were indentured servants, except they got land, except they got reparations. You know what I mean? Except they got citizenship. They got all of that. I don't want to hear that about the Irish. They worked for a certain amount of time to get over here during the passage. They couldn't pay their own way. That is what an indentured servitude is. Indentured servant means you can't afford your right to passage, so someone's going to pay the expenses for you. When you touch down, you're going to work for that person or those people who paid the expenses until it is paid off in full, and then they grant you citizenship, give you land, give you money so that you can settle too. How do you think those same Irish people own slaves? I'm supposed to feel sorry for a group of people who were enslaved, got their freedom, and then came back and owned slaves and did the same things to our ancestors? Man, what is wrong with some of y'all? I don't give a damn about them. I don't give a damn about their history. It almost sounds like they deserved it.
Mainstream education rarely centers. Preserving the story is my life's work because when testimony disappears, identity disappears. And we all know that when identity disappears, land disappears, sovereignty disappears, memory disappears. Now, let's
Think
address.
about it. Irish people played a part in this very thing we're talking about right here. And y'all are sitting here exercising sympathy and empathy for the Irish. What about you? Who's showing you sympathy and empathy? What about you? Did they show you sympathy and empathy when they reclassified you? Huh? When they stripped you of your title, your land, your belongings, your identity, your language, your culture, your beliefs? Did they give a damn about you? Man, y'all better wake up, man. A lot of y'all too soft. A lot of y'all put your cares where there should be no cares. You know what I'm saying? There should be no cares. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if they wanted that love and that concern and that compassion, they should have exercised, exemplimented, and showed that same love, concern, and compassion when it counted, when the time was right. And they failed to do so. They failed to do so. They failed to do so. My heart is hardened. I feel sorry for none. You know what I'm saying? I go hard for my people. I'm going to fight our fight. I'm not fighting their fight. We fought their fight for years and still got treated like crap. We fought in every war, still got treated like crap. Come on, man. We work ourselves in this country, still get treated like crap. Come on, man. No, no. Miss me with that.
It's the elephant in the room. For someone to be captured, labeled Negro, sold into slavery, and later argue in court that they were Indian, they must have shared overlapping physical traits. Courts discussed phenotype. Witnesses testified about how someone looked Indian. Early European explorers described southeastern indigenous peoples as copper colored,
Hey, what's up,
reddish
sis?
brown, dark.
I see my sis. What's up, Tammy? I see you now. What's up, sis? Yo, that's my sister-in-law right there. That's my big brother wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. My bro that does all the designs for the shirts and everything. He did the Uncut Squad logo y'all are seeing on the live. Yeah, that's her husband right there. That's my sis right there, Tammy West. What's up, sis? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Don't go nowhere. Why isn't my phone working? Ah. All right, they go, bro, right there. Bro, I'm trying to make Tammy a moderator. My phone ain't working. That's what's up. We got family in here. I got to get this phone working, y'all. YouTube is messing up again. Every time I go live, it sticks. I need sis to be a moderator up in this thing too. We gonna get knee deep up in this thing. We gonna get knee deep up in this thing. I need sis to be a moderator. Hold on, hold on. I'm so glad to see y'all up in here. This thing. Hold on. I need sis to be a moderator. Hold on. I'm so glad to see y'all up in here. I can't even turn my volume down. These phones are messed up, y'all. Hold on. I'm so glad to see y'all up in here. I can't even turn my volume down. These phones are messed up, y'all. Hold on. I'm so glad to see y'all up in here. I can't even turn my volume down. These phones are messed up, y'all. All right. Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, these phones are messing up bad. All right, you're a moderator now, sis. You're in blue. So them fools come in here, you know what to do. Bro, you in blue too. So them fools come in here, y'all know what to do. You know what I'm saying? What you mean that's awkward after what I just said about the Irish people? It was right on point. Let the Irish people fight for their Irish rights. We're fighting for our sovereignty. We're fighting for our rights. We're fighting to be classified as we should be classified. Everyone need to fight their own fight, man. You can't run home and get your big brother when it's your fight. And you can't expect everybody to fight with you when you're not fighting with the very people who needed you to begin with. So if they wanted this unity, you know what I mean, then they wouldn't have been part of the problem. I do. I know. I know. I just showed y'all what? All 1 o'clock this morning, y'all, I showed y'all this. Irish were taken care of. They got reparations. Do I have to go back to that? I don't want to keep going back. Okay, Tammy's a lot more than Irish. And Tammy just told y'all, my sister just told y'all don't want to hear the truth, didn't she? So don't try to use my family. And I told y'all my family is very diverse. So don't try to use my family as your scapegoat. Tammy knows who she is. Ask Tammy who she's married to. Maybe y'all need to learn to treat y'all women a little bit better. Hello, holla if you hear me. Happily married over 20 plus years. Huh? Holla if you hear me. Oh, y'all failed again, huh? Y'all failed again. See how super my brother is? Superman Chris Welch came in just to the rescue because y'all don't know how to treat y'all own women. Now she's being treated like a queen. She know who she is. She know who she is. And look what she said, damn straight. Okay, she ain't subscribing to that, y'all. I told you. Come on, man. Y'all better get right up in here, man.
Earth toned, they distinguished them from Africans in their writing, yet over time, those distinctions collapsed in paperwork. The paper changed, the people didn't. When racial
Matter of
categories...
fact, my brother would be the perfect person to use here. My brother would be the perfect person to use. Do y'all understand my brother is Indian? If you look at him, you'll think he's black. Your government will call him black. You can't even braid my brother hair. It'll unravel, come right. It's curly. It's curly. When they had those pennies on top of that copper hand, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you better know what you're talking about, y'all. You better know what you're talking about. These people knew what they were doing. I have no compassion for none. You know what? I have compassion when y'all stop lying and y'all give us them 40 acres and that mule. And you know what I'm saying? Some reparations. Then we can start a discussion of being civil again. Until then, boy, I'm putting knees on necks. No George Floyd. Let's go.
became rigid, it does not mean that human diversity suddenly changed. It means the administrative system changed. And you've got to understand why this matters now. Because this conversation is not about denying African ancestry. If you do your genealogy and you've got an African entry on your family tree, that...
Only Tammy, man. Only freaking my sister, man. Only my sis can do this, man. Oh my God. Tammy, all right, and you know what? Screw these, man. Screw them, man. Screw them, man. Screw them, man. Screw them. Tammy. God dang. Tammy say, try my side. Didn't work. God dang. Boy, y'all want the truth, boy. Tammy is the one to tell you. Y'all think I'm bad. Boy, you don't want to talk to Tammy, boy. You don't want to talk to Tammy, boy. Keep I gotta get sis on the show, boy. Hey sis, you and bro y'all got to come over. Y'all got to get on the show. Y'all got to get on the show, boy. Yo, boy, y'all better be careful messing with Tammy, boy. Tammy gonna tell you like it is, boy. Tammy gonna tell you like it is, boy. Y'all better be careful. Casey say, I know that's right. Uh-oh, Casey, just let me know she down with the brown. Casey say, I love Tammy. I love Tammy too. That's my sister. I wish it would. I wish it would like a kitchen cabinet, boy. I keep telling y'all. Y'all don't see Colonel Sanders in here. Y'all don't see Tammy. You know, and listen, man. Black people ain't racist. We ain't racist. We love everybody. It's just everybody don't love us. That's all. You know what I'm saying? It take good folks to understand us and love us, man. But, but y'all better leave Tammy alone, boy. I can let Tammy teach this thing by herself, boy. Y'all try Tammy if you want. Come on now. Boy, you are opening Pandora's box. Keep on now. Keep on. Tammy would be that one, boy. Tammy would be that one, boy. Keep on.
Is your heritage. But we've got to acknowledge the erased indigenous ancestry. Any African ancestry we may have is alleged. It is speculative at best. But what is definitive, what is documented, is our erased indigenous heritage. And in some of us, both can.
See, I told you, many things play into the Eraser Act. Many things played into the Eraser Act. Oh, shoot. Thank you, sis. Sis representing. Hey, let's put Tammy's name in the chat. Y'all know what we do when people show random acts of kindness and they donate to the platform. We spam their name in the chat, y'all. Let's put sis' name in the chat. Let's put Tammy in the chat, y'all. I want to see Tammy going all the way down the chat, y'all. Let's show that respect. Let's show that respect. If I can just open one of my non-functioning phones right now. You know what I mean? One of these non-functioning phones. Yeah, we gonna make sure her name. Man, why won't my volume go down on this phone? The volume down, but it won't go down. All right. The volume is down. Hey, these phones are messing up bad. Why is the volume? All right, you're a moderator now, sis. You're in blue. So the fools come in here. That's weird, yo. The volume is down on the phone. That's weird. Oh, Tammy a real one. Tammy a real one. It's weird. Oh, Tammy a real one. Tammy a real one. It's weird. Oh, Tammy. I don't know what's going on with these phones. I don't know what's going on with these phones. Oh, let me try this. I think I just figured it out. Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it. All right. We working. I'm going to get back to this, but give me just a minute because usually Malou was in here to do all of this administrative stuff for me. And my sister Malou ain't made it in here yet. So it's up to me to do it right now. You know what I'm saying? But if anybody else is interested in donating to the platform, I want y'all to know we would graciously take those cash apps too. You know what I'm saying? Need that there. So I'm gonna pin that. All right. And again, you know, can we put I don't want to continue until we put Tammy's name in the chat, y'all. That's how we show respect when someone gives to the platform. You know what I'm saying? Let's put Tammy's name in the chat. Let's get sis recognized. Oh, we take all donations. We're a growing platform. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I'm monetized on YouTube, but this is my job. This is my living. And it takes time to do research. I'm burning 5 lights right now just for this live. You know what I mean? So yeah, bills increase to make these type of things happen. So if people like the message, receive the message, and people want to learn and they respect, you know what I'm saying, the information, then yeah, we encourage people, you know what I'm saying, to give. But I'm not gonna ask you, I can't make you. But is it appreciated? Yeah, definitely to the utmost. You know what I'm saying? To the utmost. All right, I need to see a couple more Tammys in the chat, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Couple more chats. We were declassified on paper. The weak minor indigenous were given money, land, resources, and weapons to declassify us. All right. All right. All right. God bless. Okay. Yeah. Let's show that love to Tammy, y'all. We always got to show that love, y'all. We going to show that respect because people don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to do that. They don't. So we going to show that respect, y'all. And the family support is everything. So that's love, sis. Thank you, sis. All right, here we go.
And exist, but one was systematically buried. If enslaved individuals could win freedom by proving native descent, then native descent was present. If that recognition later disappeared from records, then something shifted in policy and classification.
Tammy, we're gonna have to get you on the show. All right. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing, Tomato Pie Head. Thank you for subscribing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't sure why you got kicked just now, timed out, but thank you for subscribing. You know, but we got to get Tammy on the show, y'all. Y'all put a 1 in the chat if y'all want Tammy on the show. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want Tammy on the platform. Huh? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want Sister Tammy to come tear this thing up one time. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all want Sister Tammy. Oh, I see a 1 right there. All I'm looking for is 1s. They go another 1. They go another 1. Y'all put 1s in the chat if y'all want to see Sister Tammy come tear this thing up. She might not want to be on camera, but y'all can hear her voice. You know what I'm saying? We'll set it up. Y'all want Sister Tammy to come talk to you? Y'all want Sister Tammy to come talk to you? Because I don't mind. I don't mind. She say no. They are requesting you, sis. They are requesting you, sis.
Race in America was engineered for economic and legal stability. It was not simply a biological observation, it was a governance tool. Let's talk about it.
Casey got all
And the
kind of
US
ones
government
in
does
here.
not publicly frame this history the way that I'm framing it, but it admits it in court records, in legislative shifts, in census evolution, and in documented freedom suits. Again, you've got Hudgens versus Wright. That's real. You've got Queen versus Hepburn. That's real. You've got Maryland freedom suits. Those are real. Indian slavery in the Carolinas and all.
Okay, freedom, freedom, freedom. Now, I got no quarrel with you. You know what I'm saying? No shade. Respect, because you up on your knowledge. But what I need you to do is stop associating our movement with Africans. We're not Native Africans. We're talking about indigenous black people, foundational black Americans, indigenous black tribes. You know what I'm saying? Super chats get your comments read. You know what I mean? So if you're not lit up in blue, I'm not gonna read no more comments. Okay. Thank you, Money Mike, for reminding me. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't about the money, you know what I'm saying? Thank you, Money Mike. Thank you so much, Pimpin. Greatly appreciate you, Pimpin. My name is Money Mother and Mike Pimpin. All right, but check it out. You're right if we were talking about the Native Africans. We're Native Black Americans. Stop associating us with Africans. You know what I'm saying? The African American, all of that right there was laid to rest when Jesse Jackson closed his eyes. He's the one that did that to us, and it set us so far back and so far from the truth. Well, I understand that. That's why I say there's no shade at you, Freedom. I just need you to focus on Black Americans. Let's talk about this culture, this lineage. That's why we're delineating now as FBA, Foundational Black Americans. We've already debunked the whole African theory. That's not us. You know what I'm saying? That's Brazil. That's the Caribbean. That's Haiti. That's Jamaica. That's so many of that's not us. That's not us, respectfully.
All across the Americas is real. Reclassification policies in Virginia are real. The admission already exists in the archives. The question is whether we're willing to look. Come on.
Come on.
Ask yourself this. If enslaved people successfully sued for freedom by proving indigenous ancestry, if Indian slavery was outlawed while African slavery was expanded, if dark-skinned indigenous people were captured during colonial wars, would it not serve the colonial system to obscure
Freedom. I said I wasn't going to read no more comments, let this in the super chat, but this is the last one. Now, again, you're right, but I'm going to show you what makes you wrong. No, bring them back for a minute. Bring them back for a minute. Let me see if I can get that comment back. Okay. He says, I'm not denying the diversity of ethnic groups, but Ethiopians traveled the world and created all ethnic groups that exist today. Listen, there was also black tribes already here in America before those Ethiopians even had seafarer. Before they were able to come up with their own ships and watercrafts to travel, there was still black life here. Those Egyptians and Ethiopians didn't start all black life. Black people are melanated down in every landmass throughout the country. We're indigenous to every landmass throughout the country. Throughout the country. So, again, you're associating Africans with us. You're trying to say, basically what you're saying on a humbug is those Ethiopians that traveled over here are still responsible for our lineage. And it's not true. Some it could be true. You know what I mean? Because once they got here, tribes did mix. You know what I'm saying? I always tell y'all, if a Rottweiler and a Chihuahua was the last two dogs on earth, they find a way to procreate and reproduce. You know what I'm saying? So your theory isn't far-fetched. It's just you're not giving credit where credit is due. The same way you had black life in Ethiopia, in Africa, you had black life over here in this land too, before it was America. And those Ethiopians weren't responsible for that. That's why they say blacks are indigenous basically to all lands. So no, you're downplaying FBA again, homie, and I can't stand for that, Freedom. That's the last comment I'm gonna read. If anybody else want one read and it's not lit up in blue, you might want to send a super chat. You know what I'm saying? Because we are about our money. This is our job. And I'm not gonna keep dealing with this for free, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I done dealt with so many races and so many ignorant people, low IQs, and so many myths. I'm not doing this for free. I'm not going to bed with them headaches no more. I'm not doing it. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Make it worth my time to deal with it. Make it worth my time. I'm not reading those comments if it ain't blue. You better send a super chat.
indigenous identity among the enslaved population? Would it not be strategically beneficial to collapse categories? Would it not simplify governance to tell a single origin story?
I like that money, Mike. I like that money, Mike. Listening is free. Comments and debate go through super chats or Cash App, either one.
These are structural questions, not emotional ones. And the deeper you research, the clearer the pattern becomes. This land holds layered histories. Some of those layers were compressed into a single label. And restoring those erased layers is not revisionism, it is recovery. And that recovery is ongoing. If you want documented case law, preserved testimonies, and archival records, visit my website, nativeblackancestry.com. Preserving this history is not content creation for me, it's a responsibility. And this conversation is only just getting started. But speaking of this conversation, from time to time, I open myself up to do live call-in shows where I let people call in, challenge me, debate me. And I do want to play a clip from a recent interaction that I had with a interesting caller, to say the least. But before we do, let me share with you a quick word from one of my genealogy clients.
Hi, my name is Frances Tuck, and I contacted Mike from Mike TV on YouTube because I wanted to find out about my family's Native American history that I believed existed. Through the research that I was able to do through Mike TV, I was able to find out that our name is indeed on the registry.
Listen, if y'all are interested in this, this is real. Y'all can go to Mike TV on YouTube. Get his information. You know what I'm saying? Do your research because y'all are going to find the same thing out that I found, that this stuff is easy to debunk. And we haven't even gotten into the names yet. I'm finna actually skip over to the names because I think we've got enough of this. We get the gist of this. Now I'm going to the names. Y'all notice when we told the racists we weren't going to read their comments, you know what I'm saying? They had to send them super chats. They got up out of here. See, as long as you take their voice away, there's nothing. There's nothing. Okay, now let's get into the last names. And even I've said this a lot, and I had to learn from Mike TV. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a thing or two. I think I just said yesterday, you know what I'm saying?
I'm done spending an obscene amount of money on takeout.
About our last names being tags and being proof. You know what I mean? And well, our last names mean something else, ladies and gentlemen. Our last name is not necessarily the slave master's last name. Watch this. Watch this. YouTube must be down again tonight. Something's going on with this internet. Watch this.
Must have. Here we go.
All right, we're going through the names now.
I gifted my husband these pants, and now he wears them everywhere. Meet mesh irons, the most
identity, century.
So we've covered reclassification. We've covered all of that. Now watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this.
It's fuck how they paint them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was king. So man, this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
All right. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Smash the like button on the way in. Leave a comment.
And this
Let
is
me know
what
what
Mike
you think
TV does.
and
Watch
where
this.
you're viewing from. You see, tonight we got to have a serious conversation. Oh, yes. A very, very serious conversation indeed.
Let's get into the last names now.
This is not going to be a trendy conversation. It's not going to be a comfortable conversation. It's going to be the necessary one. This is going to be a conversation that's very, very necessary because right now, one of the biggest intellectual traps of our people is falling into what I call the DNA test cop-out. This idea that you can spit in a tube, mail it off to a corporation, and that corporation is going to tell you who you are. The idea that identity, centuries of history, migration, war, survival, assimilation, resistance can be reduced to percentages on a screen. Come on. 80% this, 15% this, 5% this. And then we close the book on our lineage, like the case is solved. That mindset is dangerous, not because DNA science is fake, not because genetics are meaningless, but because DNA without paper trail genealogy is incomplete. And when it comes to Native Black Americans, when it comes to communities that experienced reclassification, racial collapse, paper genocide, relying on DNA alone can actually hide the very truth we're trying to uncover. Now let's slow this down and think critically. DNA testing companies rely on reference populations. That means your results are not some ancient mystical reading of your soul. They are comparisons.
Y'all have to think about this stuff, man. If you really want to dismantle the system and find out the truth, this is the work we need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? Trace your lineage, trace your culture, prove these people lied, prove this to be true. They're saying that this is propaganda. If we do the work, we can prove that this is true, y'all. And people have already litigated and won cases. That's how you get your reparations. We're going about this thing the wrong way. Trace that culture, prove the government lied and reclassified you. You know what I mean? register as an indigenous Indian to your tribe, and get what's owed to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's simple. Let's go.
It takes your genetic markers and compares them to modern groups of people who are already categorized in their database. Now ask yourself a hard question. What happens when the historical record itself was manipulated? What happens when entire indigenous communities in the Southeast were reclassified over centuries as...
Then people start believing in the great lie, the great switch, the great American plot to reclassify people, steal other people's land, take other people's identity and culture, assets and resources, and oppress those people through policies and laws and prejudice. That's what happens if you don't contest this. We've seen it already. We've seen it already. Already, y'all.
Mulatto, colored, or Negro. What happens when tribal communities were administratively absorbed into Black racial categories through census manipulation and state racial integrity laws? Their descendants are now sitting inside the data.
Y'all stop and look it up. Look up your state racial integrity law. He's giving it to you. If this is propaganda, here's your chance to the racists to debunk this. Look up your state's racial integrity laws. Look it up. Look it up, because right now, if you can't admit the truth, that means you already know the truth and you're benefiting from the lie. If you can't admit this is truth, this means that you are benefiting from the truth under white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? And you are benefiting from the lie. That's why you are covering the truth. We not the bad people to get to the good folks on this platform, ladies and gentlemen. Race don't mean a thing. How you vote don't mean a thing. Who you voted for don't mean a thing. Who you sleep with don't mean a thing. What you believe in don't mean a thing. You know what I'm saying? It's all about right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? What's true and what's false, y'all. That's the connection we have. That's the energy on this platform. That's the energy. That's what it is. That's the movement. Not native, indigenous. Not native, indigenous. Native and indigenous are two different things. Now, if you want to throw in aboriginal, that would be another great keyword to use as an adjective to describe Black people and their lineage. But we can't go with native. We're going to go with indigenous, aboriginal.
Database labeled African American. So when your DNA matches them, what does the algorithm say you are? African? The system can only read the labels.
Let's get that like button up, ladies and gentlemen.
If indigenous people were collapsed into Black racial classifications on...
Listen, y'all, let's take at least 3 seconds. Look down at your device. Make sure your thumbs up is lit up if you're enjoying the content. This passes this live stream through the algorithm to get more people in here. The more people we get in here, the better the conversation gets, and the more knowledge we tend to spread around. Because there's lots of people who know this stuff already. You know what I'm saying? And we need those people in this live stream, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't hard. If that like button hits you back, we'll jump his ass. I promise. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. It's free. The super chats may not be free, but hitting that like button is free, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take time out and hit that like button. I know you hit it, sis. I know you hit it, sis. I know you hit it, sis. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still trying to find me a Tammy. Bruh, I'm still trying to find me a Tammy, big bro. I'm still trying to find me a Tammy. I'm going to find me a Tammy. You know what I'm saying? I want me a woman that could be with 20 plus years too. You know what I'm saying? I want a woman that's actually got my back the way Tammy got your back. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir, bro. You set the standard high. But I'm trying to find me a Tammy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm trying to find me a Tammy. Let's go.
On paper, then their genetic signatures are already blended into what the system now calls West African or African American. That does not mean the indigenous ancestry is not there. It means the database cannot separate what the paperwork already merged. This is why we cannot abandon paper trail genealogy, census records, court records, land deeds, tax rolls, church registries, probate files, tribal enrollment documents, military records. These documents tell where your ancestors.
This is all proof. Did y'all hear everything this man just said? If y'all research all this stuff, y'all will find out that this is true. I want the racists who are benefiting from this racist system to go look this stuff up. The same conscience and sympathy and empathy y'all want us to have for the Irish, have it for us. Go do the research, realize what your lineage of evil did, and correct it. Correct it. Because if you can still look at all this evidence, all this proof, and still stand on this racism, and still oppress people, and take from people, and claim things that's not yours, then you truly are evil. You truly are something diabolical. Let's go.
Ancestors physically were, how they were reclassified at different times, who lived near who married who, what jurisdiction they were under. I mean, DNA cannot tell you that your third great grandmother was listed as Indian in 1820 and mulatto in 1850. DNA cannot tell you that your fourth great grandfather owned land in a recognized Muskogee Creek district before removal.
Say that, Mike.
DNA cannot show you that your ancestor appeared in a freedman's suit arguing native maternal descent. The paper can.
FBA.
And when you understand how racial categories shifted from colony to colony, from decade to decade, you begin to see that identity in America was often bureaucratically engineered. The categories hardened over time. They were not static from the beginning. Now let's deal with another myth that gets repeated so often that people accept it without thinking.
And I'm going to tell y'all, I saw my name on this list, y'all. I saw my last name on this list, y'all. There's a list of names. And we thought that we were still bearing our slave master's last name. Even I thought that. Until now. Until now. Boy, when I tell you these people were strategic, they were strategic. Check this out now.
All get our last names from slave masters.
Come in, hit that like button.
That sounds neat. It sounds emotionally powerful, but it does not hold up historically. First of all, not every Black American descends from someone who was enslaved. That is a documented fact. Before the Civil War, there were massive populations of free people of color all throughout Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, Louisiana, and other parts of the Southeast. Some of these communities had been free for generations before 1865. Some owned land, some paid taxes, some served in militias during the Revolutionary period. Some were listed in colonial records long before emancipation was even a thought. So how does the "we all get our names from slave masters" narrative account for them? It doesn't. It collapses every lineage into a single plantation narrative that ignores the complexity of free Black and Indigenous communities that predate the Civil War. But let's go deeper. In places like Virginia,
that predates the Civil War, not post-dates, predates the Civil War. They were already freedmen before the Civil War. Before the Civil War. This is big, y'all. This is big. This is big.
North Carolina, census records from the late 1700s and early 1800s show thousands of individuals categorized as free-colored. Some of you guys have seen it on your own family records when you do the research. Free-colored, it will say. And many of these families had stable surnames that persisted across multiple generations. They appear in tax lists, they appear in land transactions, they appear in church records, they appear in court cases. These were not recently emancipated people. All
right, come on, ladies and gentlemen. This takes time. If we're not going to contribute to the platform, you know what I mean, let's at least contribute by hitting that like button, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? We got to at least hit that like button. I'm watching people come in. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit that like button. Let's move this video through the algorithm. This is important. This is real big stuff right here. This is real big stuff. All right. Money Mike, let's leave upgrade 1015. Let's actually Money Mike, let me read some of these comments before you take them out of here because everybody's not saying everything wrong. You know, upgrade is like actually with us. You know what I'm saying? Upgrade is actually with us. At upgrade 1015. It's so big, it changes everything. We blacks are victims. Now what? I mean, I really don't want to use the victim term, but we were victimized. I mean, so I guess that's the accurate assumption. You know what I'm saying? Let's hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm watching people come in and out, y'all. I'm working. This is what I do. This is what I do. Show support for the stream. So show support for the knowledge, the time. You know what I'm saying? The education. We didn't get this in public school. We didn't get this in public school. If I was sitting here streaming me playing 2K, how would I be helping you? But I'm not. I'm giving you this education. I'm giving you this. We're waking up together. This is research. This is knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, please and thank you.
Adopting plantation surnames, these were communities with long-standing identities. And in earlier records, some of these same families appear classified as Indian. Over time, that designation disappears and is replaced with mulatto or colored. That's a shift on paper, not a biological transformation. So when you do the paper trail work, you see these transitions. You can now identify how people get administratively redefined. But now let's talk about religion, because this is another piece that people ignore.
Uh-oh. Y'all better hit the like button on this one. As much as I talk about Christianity on here, as hard as I've worked to wake y'all up, how do you hate everything about your slave master, everything about your oppressor, but you love their religion? You love their God. You don't love your spirituality. You love their religion. You love their God. There's three different Jesuses: Jesus Christ, Jesus Barabbas, and the good Jesus slave ship. Which one do you subscribe to? Because all three of them are of white supremacy. All three of them are systemic racism. All three of them are colonial tactics used to brainwash and indoctrinate a culture of people, y'all, to erase you from being you. Now what? Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to see that like button going up. We've been stuck on 25. We can't get 20. There's no good folks in here. I can understand the upset people in here who's not going to hit that like button. But you mean to tell me that we have no good folks in here absorbing this knowledge that can hit that like button? Huh? Are we that selfish, ladies and gentlemen? The show is going to go on regardless. And understand I get paid regardless. You know what I'm saying? I get paid regardless. But I'm going to have these moderators start kicking lots of people out of here. I don't see these lights going up.
The British and the French were not just conquering land, they were conquering spiritually. Through angelic missions, Catholic missions, Baptist missions, Moravian missions, and other religious institutions, indigenous communities were systematically converted. Christianization was a tool of assimilation. When indigenous families were baptized, married, or recorded in church registries, they were often formalized under European names. Biblical first name.
Formalized under European names. Formalized under European names. I told y'all where this Christianity came from. Oh, Christianity existed in Ethiopia before. I told y'all, man. I told y'all, man. I'm going to start talking mad trash to y'all. Because I'm busting my butt day and night, man. My mind hurt. My brain hurt. I'm always reading. I'm always researching. I'm always arguing with people. I'm always making that final push, that fight to get y'all to fight. And the same things that I'm telling y'all, I have to go back and let other people tell y'all in order for y'all to believe it. So y'all don't know how hard it is to be a content creator. Y'all don't know how hard it is to sit on this camera and argue with fools and argue with people who's uninformed. You have no clue. You have no clue. So absolutely, yes, we need those cash apps. Absolutely, yes, we need those gifts. Like I said, I'm burning lights in here to make this happen. Y'all didn't know this stuff, and I can't lie and say I knew this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if your pastor was in church lying to you about white Jesus, you'd be passing the offering tray around and putting your 10% in. I can't even get you to get a like button here, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, we got to do better.
Names, European surnames. That was not evidence of plantation naming. That was evidence of forced assimilation into colonial religious systems. You cannot erase someone's culture effectively without first reshaping their spiritual framework.
Say that.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys, Nina just built an app.
And when you reshape their spiritual framework, you often rename them in the process. Then we have the Scottish and Irish dynamic in the Southeast. This is extremely important, especially for my people, the Muskogee Creek. For centuries, Scottish and Irish traders were embedded within the Creek territory. They intermarried, they formed alliances, they had children. Those children inherited European surnames through paternal lines, and this was not rare. It was part of frontier diplomacy and economic survival. Look at documented figures like Alexander MacGillivray, a Creek leader of Scottish and Creek descent. His surname does not come from a plantation master, it comes from his father, a Scottish trader. This pattern is repeated across multiple Southeastern tribes. European surnames with indigenous communities predate the Civil War. They predate emancipation. They predate the simplified narrative that we are fed today. So when someone says, well, your last name is European, so you must have gotten it from a slave master, that statement ignores religious conversion, intermarriage, diplomatic alliances, trade relationships, and centuries of frontier blending. It ignores free communities of color who had surnames long before 1865. It ignores tribal roles where European surnames are clearly documented among indigenous citizens.
So think about this. They made sure that we all spoke the same language, no matter how different we are as people. They made sure that we all had the same religious beliefs. And they made sure that we all had the same type of names, y'all. And y'all don't see the grand design of it all. You don't see the grand scheme of it all. Is this too complicated for you guys to figure it out? Because this is simplistic as hell to me. We can see on paper the paper genocide, how they acknowledged who we were and slowly wrote us out by reclassifying us, by bringing their culture, their heritage, their ceremonies like weddings and Christianity and all this other stuff in. The church changed everything. I keep telling y'all, the Roman Catholic Church is evil, y'all. It changed everything. It changed everything. Do y'all realize that Ethiopia is still running a 13-month calendar? 13-month calendar. Meanwhile, over here, we got leap year every 4 years and a 12-month calendar. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Don't believe me? Do your research. Yes, their calendars in Ethiopia and other places, 13 months. But we only have 12 months here. How is that? How is that?
Places complexity with trauma shorthand. And trauma shorthand keeps people from researching further. Now let's circle back to DNA. Because here's what happens psychologically. Someone takes a DNA test. It comes back majority West African. Maybe it shows 1 or 2% Indigenous American. And immediately the conclusion becomes, see, that settles it. But what if your paper trail shows your family living inside Creek territory in Georgia in 1820? What if your surname appears in tribal records? What if your ancestors were listed as Indian in earlier census entries? Does the DNA erase the documents? Or does it?
There it is. So, Terry, that should answer your question right there. Terry 2728, that should answer your question right there. Tribes, what's your point? What's your point? Let me guess. You're not going to tell me that you're Indian? I'm waiting to see what you're getting at here, Terry.
I mean, the database cannot parse layered ancestry that was already administratively merged. Remember, if indigenous communities were reclassified into Black categories for generations, their descendants are now sitting inside the African American genetic cluster. The algorithm.
And Tammy, not Tammy, I'm sorry, sis. Terry, what you're asking, first off, before I answer any question, all this, man, we still stuck at 28 likes. The same way y'all ignoring that like button, I can ignore your comments. You know what I mean? I can ignore your comments. I want to answer your questions. I want to acknowledge you. You know what I mean? But listen, I need those likes to come up. I need those likes to come up. I'm used to having at least like 6,000 or 10,000 people come through my lives. You know what I'm saying? I don't waste my time for this, y'all. I need y'all to hit that like. Tap the screen. If you can't see the like button, tap the screen. Tap the screen. We should have many more thumbs up than that. What's up, Santa? What's up, Santa? Santa, as you come in, hit that like button for me. Hit that like button. You know, all moderators, you know what I'm saying, are expected to at least hit the like button. If I don't get no support from nobody else, I expect, you know, the moderators to hold me down. Hold me down, moderators. Everybody make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Terry, I just told you, if you can't hit that like button, send a super chat, you know what I mean, or a cash app. You're only going to listen to the content, and then you can do the research and answer your own questions. I would be obliged to answer your questions and entertain you once you show me that you are here to support the platform and just not drain me of my knowledge. The knowledge is not free. It's not free. It's not free.
Them cannot unmix what history merged. Paper trail genealogy forces you to confront
Terry. Now you about to get your flat booty ass up out of here. I knew it was gonna be a problem. I knew it. Let's get Terry out of here, Money Mike. Let's get Terry out of here. If you got a feeling that would irritate you, then maybe you need to be watching Nick Fuentes. Maybe you need to be over to Steven Crowder or Tim Pool or somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Benny Hill. Bye. We don't need you. We don't need you. Look, they already getting on you. They already getting on you. Look, I ain't even have to address you. They already getting on you. What's up, Turtle Piece? They hate the truth, y'all.
Geography. Where was your family located before 1870? That's a key year because 1870 is the first federal census listing formerly enslaved people by name after the Civil War. If your family appears as free in 1850, that matters. If they appear in tax records before emancipation, that matters. If they owned land before 1865, that matters. If they lived adjacent to recognized tribal districts, that matters. Patterns matter. And patterns only show up when you read the documents carefully. And this is why I built nativebblackancestry.com. Not to sell fantasy, not to sell.
Y'all write that down. nativebblackancestry.com. If you're interested in knowing the truth, nativebblackancestry.com. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. If they can't be respectful, y'all know we roast them. Y'all know I don't mind opening up a can. Listen, I will let them have it. I will let them have it. But tonight I'm about the message and I'm about the money. You know what I mean? I'm not finna give you any knowledge for free when you got public libraries, you got computers, you got tablets, and y'all control every damn thing. Don't ask me nothing. Go do the research. Debunk it. Prove me wrong. I do what Charlie Jerk didn't do. I show up with receipts. I show up with proof. I'm just not on here blabbing and talking against people. you know what I'm saying, inflating statistics and causing racism. And I'm showing you. I'm showing you. So don't hate the messenger, just get the message. You know what I'm saying?
Sell percentages, but to provide research tools. On the website, there's a tribal surname tab. You can look up your last name and see whether it aligns with the documented surnames of the 5 civilized tribes: the Creek, Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Seminole. Now, that tool is not a magic wand. It's a starting point. If your surname appears in tribal rolls, that gives you a research lead. It tells you where to dig. It tells you which archives to examine. It tells you which counties to focus on. That is how genealogy works. You follow the paper. We cannot afford intellectual laziness when it comes to identity. We cannot outsource our heritage to corporations whose databases are built on modern racial categories shaped by colonial paperwork.
Let me show you how deep this is. Do y'all realize that we've got black people running around here, you know what I'm saying, debunking racism, debunking colonization, starting whole movements, y'all. Whole movements. Oh, the government owe us this. We want our 40 acres and a mule. The white man this, the white man that. But the black man ain't doing the research or the due diligence to go get it. It's there. Do y'all realize every day somebody else that they imported and regrouped as you are living on your land off of your resources? That the broken promise they made to us about the 40 acres and a mule, that they gave it to somebody else who had to travel through the Siberian Strait to get here. Those are the people that y'all recognize as Native Americans. Notice their skin is light. Nothing here pre-colonial was light. It was dark. Again, Christopher Columbus left many accounts of this. It was dark. So how do you have white looking people, excuse my tone, I'm not trying to be racist, but how do you have non-melanated people being recognized as Native Americans? Native to what? It's not America. They were put in place, they were implemented. They're not real. Come on, that's why I told you there's a difference between Native American and indigenous. They were imported and regrouped and reclassified as the Native Americans. After we were regrouped and reclassified from Indians to copper color to mulatto to black to African American. Come on, y'all. It's a grand design. They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing. If you're born in the USA, you're a Native American. That's not true. That's not true. That is not true. That is so far off. So you're telling me a white person born in South Africa is a Native African? That's just birthright citizenship, homie. That's piggybacking off of our 13th and 14th Amendment. That was meant for the descendants of slaves. And we don't want to get into the birthright citizenship and how they're using what was for us to bring minorities here, which are statements like this. It causes statements like this to be made. Just because you're born here does not make you a native to the land. You're a native to your culture. You're a native European, but you take up residence in the United States. Yes, that makes you American, but not a native. But not a native. But not a native. Get it right. Not a native.
We cannot let a pie chart override a documented land deed. We cannot let a percentage override a court record. DNA sometimes can support research, but it cannot replace it. The paper is where classification happened. The paper is where reclassification happened. The paper is where erasure happened. And the paper is where the restoration begins. If you're serious about it.
Did y'all hear that? The paper is where the restoration begins. Black people don't like politics. Black people don't like to read. Black people, we too concerned with, you know what I'm saying, being trendsetters. We got to be hood rich, hood famous. We got to be popular. We going to shop for them Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this came out. I got to go get that. But we're not taking time, living check to check, dealing with systemic racism, to be feeding our minds what we need to feed our minds to come up out of the struggle, y'all. And this right here is your way out. Realize the government already has documents. They're waiting for you to claim your identity. Literally, do y'all know how many people Mike TV? See, I'm playing Mike TV for y'all, but I really, really follow Mike TV. You understand what I'm saying? Do y'all know how many people have found their tribes? How many people have got their benefits? How many people has, you know what I'm saying, are on reservations now? If we just do the research and restore our proper identity, that's why I say the African American died with Jesse Jackson. And I wasn't subscribing to African American well before then because I ain't got nothing to do with Africa. And when the U.S. does something to us black people over here, what's up, Dunmore family? You don't see Africa over there like, hold up, why y'all doing this to our black brothers? And say, no, Africa don't care because Africa helped them. Africa helped colonize things too. Africa did it. Y'all got to realize slavery was a way of life. It was called property. We fell up under the cattle laws of the Constitution. Cattle was property. That's why they deemed us 3/5 of a human being, y'all. That's why we had to fight. That's why you need a 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, and 15th Amendment. One is the abolishment of slavery. One is the right to basically being deemed a citizen. And one is voter rights and everything else, y'all. Birthright, citizenship, and everything else follow. I do this, y'all. I do this. And it's time for everyone to do this. If you want to pull yourself out of the struggle, open the book. Find out who you really are. Do the work. Don't act like y'all just sit around the dinner table and have your parents and your grandparents and uncles and stuff telling you all these stories and showing you pictures and telling you that your people were Indian. But you're going to let a group of people come over here, take what's yours, reclassify you, give it to someone else, and then call you something else and you're okay with it. They can call you whatever, even though you know what you are. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, man. This thing hit deep, man. This thing hit deep, man. This thing hits deep. That's why I say we always have to pillage through the evil people to get to the good folks. I'm for everybody, but I'm not for people. I have people fatigue because people do things like the very thing that's in discussion right now. The Eraser Act, reclassification, paper genocide, theft, you know what I'm saying? Miseducation. That's what you get from people. You know what I'm saying? But from good folks, you get the truth, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And you get a foundation to get the work done. You know what I mean? So we've got to get to the good folks, man. This country we got to get back to just being good folks rather than people. The people make up the country, but the good folks make up the genuineness of the country, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Knowing who you are, commit to the archives, study your geography, study your surnames, study your census classifications over time, look at the shifts, look for patterns, look for proximity to tribal jurisdictions, then use tools like the tribal surname tab on nativebblackancestry.com as a guidepost. But do not fall for the DNA test cop out. Your lineage deserves more than a corporate summary. Their history deserves documentation, and documentation is how we reclaim what was administratively erased.
How does it make you feel that
Now, what I want to do,
this government knows this stuff? Even Obama signed some of this stuff. Obama helped sign that African American crap in the office too. He made it permanent for us, y'all. Permanent. We've got to rewrite history and go through all of this, y'all, to be reclassified as the indigenous people we are, the tribal people we are, in order to get those reparations, those 40 acres and a mule, and to get that respect and that protection that we asked for. People understand. There's to them, there's no such thing as black. They classified you as black, and that's why they did it. Because black is really not a culture, it's not a lineage, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's not an identity. It's not an identity. If they still classified us for who we were, those indigenous black American Indians, think about what you're owed. Think about what they have to sacrifice. Think about restoration. Thinking about restoration. We talking about reparations. That reparations is a part, just a part of restoration. Come on, you know how many laws they have to rewrite? You know how many court cases would be going on? This would cause a great civil unrest. This would add a unprecedented time in our country, in our history. 20, 30 years from now, when your great, great, great grandchildren are in school learning about this stuff. Come on, man. It's up to us. We can cry about it all day, or we can do the work. We know what they did. The government has documents. Their job is to hide it. Our job is to prove it. Their job is to hide it. Our job is to prove it.
Is actually jump in to the tribal surname tab on my website. And if anybody wants to post some family surnames, we can do a quick search and see if they show up with any of the quote unquote 5 civilized tribes. But before we go to the website, a quick word from one of my recent clients.
All right, how y'all doing? My name's Major Wright. I just got done with my consultation with Mike. If you trying to trace your ancestry, Mike is a good first step to go through. He's gonna break it down to you, all 3 steps to get you what you need. And if you want somebody to maybe do the research for you, you know, you pay that price and Mike can help you too. But yes, he will fill you up with knowledge that you never knew and give you all the things like those unanswered questions in your head throughout time. Talk to Mike, man. He's a great dude. I believe in Mike.
Yep. It's called a home equity agreement. And I got $143,000 for my home equity without.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I came across Mike on YouTube showing some historical information about how, you know, we're not all from Africa. And of course, it got my attention as I've been doing my genealogy research for a little while. But I hit a brick road and I needed more help. So the consultation that I had with Mike, it was great, very informative. It showed me a lot of history that I was unaware of, and it's made me more aware of what I don't know. So with finding him, I'm pretty sure that it's going to open up a new door, information about who I really am, who my lineage is, and
let's just stop and think for a minute. Why are we the only group of people who has to find out who we really are? Why are we the only group of people that's constantly reclassified, constantly oppressed, constantly hated? Think about this for a minute. Why would they want us to be from Africa knowing we're not from Africa? Because they know what they really owe you. And as long as they can keep you blind to the fact, they don't owe you a damn thing. Without evidence, there's no argument. They don't owe you a damn thing. Without evidence, there's no argument. But if you do the work and find the evidence, imagine the argument you have. And imagine the look on their faces knowing that you were smart enough to do the work when they consider us as having low IQs, and they're the ones that exemplify the low IQ on a daily basis, y'all. Think of why they working so hard to convince you that you are from Africa. Africans basically let you know that you're not from Africa. Look at the way they treat you even here in America. They quit to tell you they not black. I'm not black, I'm Nigerian. I'm not black, I'm blah, blah, blah. They quit to tell. But when ICE is behind them, now they're black. You know why? Because they know that we're foundational. ICE can't touch us since you're not foundational. Remember, you're Nigerian. ICE can touch you. Don't pretend to be black now. Don't be a part of the fight now. Don't get down with the coaching and pretend like you one of us now. Oh, y'all, I'm going to speak the truth, y'all. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to speak the truth. Because that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Why would this government be working so hard to convince you? They got Jesse Jackson telling y'all 36 years ago, you're African American, just to connect you to something that ain't never been connected to us, that helped sell lots of their own people into the same bullshit colonization slavery tactics that the white people had going on. Why? When Africa was in on it. When Africa was in on it. We're not African. We have no link to Africa. When these people say Africa, what they really mean is black. So when they say African American, what they're really saying is black American. But they want to displace you and make you a foreign entity on their stolen so-called domestic soil, y'all. But it's our domestic soil. How can we be reclassified as a foreign entity when we're indigenous to the land? But they don't owe you any benefits, any resources, any land, any money, nothing, as long as you are identifying and as long as you are classified as a foreign entity. Let's go. Can we get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get those likes up.
Excited to get started. I'm so happy to have found him, and I recommend him to anyone who may have hit a brick road, who is interested in going a little bit further than they may have been able to get, or just to find out the truth about your ancestry. Contact him.
All right, and we're going to start with one of the most common surnames, especially in our community. This is one of the surnames in the thumbnail for the YouTube video. Let's start with the name Johnson. Right?
Oh, there's our family name, big bro. There's our family name. There it is. There's our family name right there. Johnson's. No, that's not my last name. That is my family's name. You know what I'm saying? How many other people in here last name Johnson? Oh, we gonna learn today. We gonna learn today.
Here we're on nativeblackancestry.com. If we click the tribal surname tab on the top, we can go to that tribal surname lookup page, and let's see what we find as it relates to the surname Johnson. We're going to start with the Cherokees.
Bruh, I was waiting on you to respond. Right, bruh. Right, bruh. Now, what's our family name? Johnsons. Wasn't our family the second richest in the county growing up? Between the 30s and what? The 70s, I believe it was. The 20s and the 70s, somewhere around there. All that property, all that land we always had to go cut, bro. You ain't never wondered what the hell happened to that land, bro? Big bro, as many times as we had to go cut all that different property that we owned, you ain't never wondered what happened to that land, bro? Huh? I'm giving it to you. And the first name was our family name, Johnson. Here we go. Y'all gonna get that work. This is why I told you I don't really do this for free. You know what I'm saying? But I'll bring it to you. I'll bring it to you. Y'all be stuck on dumb stuff. I be here getting it in, man. I like knowledge. I like knowledge. I like knowledge. Let's go.
Does the surname Johnson show up with the Cherokees? And we've got Johnson as a surname with the Cherokees.
Bam!
Let's check the next tribe, Choctaw.
Bruh. Bruh. We didn't grow up with them telling us we had Cherokee Indian in us, bruh. Huh? My big brother right here, he's the oldest out of all three of us. Bruh, we didn't grow up. You know what I'm saying? Grandma and everybody else was telling us, boy, y'all Cherokee Indian. Huh? Now, this is two things. Johnson is the name, and bruh said all the time. So Johnson was the surname, and they have ties to the Cherokee Indians. They owe us too. This is how easy it is, y'all. You just got to do the work. You just got to do the work. What you mean we can't make up our mind? I'm gonna make up your mind for you because this ain't not even part of your conversation, homie. So let me remix your ass up out of here. Let me remix your ass right up out of here. Remix. We'll holler.
Do we have Johnson with the Choctaw? We've also got Johnson with the Choctaw.
Two.
Let's see the next track.
That's two indigenous black Indian tribes that's got the name Johnson, bruh. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? That surname, Johnson, our family name, now identifies with two indigenous tribes right here on this land. But they want to call us an African American, though. They want to call us an African American, though. Come on, bruh.
Creeks. That's my tribe, the Muskogee Creek Nation.
And watch this, bruh. Wasn't I a nerd in school? What kind of grades did I make in school? What kind of classes did I have in school, big bruh? What kind of classes did I have in school, big bruh?
We've got Jump. I already see it. We've got Johnson.
3.
Hold on. Don't tell me Johnson is a surname that's prevalent with all of them.
Bruh, say all A's. All A's. See that? I ain't got to lie about who I am. I'm a whole nerd. I'm a whole nerd. See what he say? Honor roll. Whole nerd. Whole nerd. That's 3 tribes now.
5 civilized tribes. This is my first time researching the Johnson surname. Now we're looking at the Seminoles. Let's come over here to the Jays. And we also have Johnson with the Seminoles.
Come on now.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now.
Let me see. Next tribe. No, wait, actually, is that the last one? We didn't already search 5, did we, y'all?
Search 4.
Do I need to update the website or am I just tripping? It's been a long day. We did the Seminoles, that's 1. We did the Creek, that's 2. We did the Choctaws, that's 3. Chickasaws, that's 4. And then the Cherokees, hey, Johnson shows up
in all
within
5.
All these tribes.
Boy, I want my money. I want my money in my land. Boy, listen. Boy, our great grandmother name was Winnie Johnson. Winnie Johnson. Come on, y'all better stop playing. Y'all better stop playing. We identified on all 5. You won't call me an African American. You know what I'm saying? You won't call me an N-word. No, sir. Hey, boy, I'm finna figure out how to get me. Bruh, I'm rolling too. This is why I do this type of stuff, man. This is why I do this type of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? But they hide it from us. Boy, we identify with all 5 original indigenous tribes in this land, bruh. We are the people. We them. Hey, big bro, we them. And the best part is we found out together. We found out as brothers at the same damn time. Come on, man. First name he called was Johnson. And guess what? My last name is in here too. You know what I'm saying? My last name on my father's side is in here too. You know what I'm saying? I want me. I want me. I want me. Huh? Winnie Johnson, Danny Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we had Isaac Johnson. Oh, we got them Johnson. We got Johnson and Johnson. Moody Johnson. You know what I'm saying? We got Johnson and Johnson in the family. Boy, y'all don't understand. How y'all say on guard? Yeah. We identified all 5. But yet they'll call me an African American. Yet I'm going through systemic racism. Yet I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Yet there's policies put in place to reclassify us and oppress us. You know what I'm saying? Don't play at my family name like that. I said Moody. Sinner, don't do that. We cool, but don't do that. Don't play at my family name like that. Don't do that. That's disrespectful, Sinner. Don't do that. I said Moody Johnson. Moody. Don't do that. We cool, but you start playing my family name, I can get you up out of here, Sinner. I don't play about serious. Listen, it's a time to play and it's a time to be serious. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mess up your family name. You know what I mean? Out of respect, and don't play on mine, cause this is serious. Moody, 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 Moody Johnson. Let's go.
And if you know anything about the origin of the Johnson surname, it traces back to England and Scotland during the Middle Ages. So, as you can see, this is a textbook example of a European surname being prevalent within the tribe during the process of assimilation and forced colonization. It's just like how them Africans are in Nigeria called John Smith. They got like Christian names and they're all devout Christians, right? Check out my mind. My mind says, hey, Mike, I already went to your site a couple weeks ago. I found my last name on the Chickasaw list, but I wasn't sure because it was slightly misspelled. It shows Williamson opposed to Williamson. I'd say that's probably close enough. A lot of times within colonial records or even recent American records, you'll see slight misspellings of surnames, even of ancestors' first names as well. Dash says, what about Reed? Well, let's look up Reed real quick. And anybody who's watching the replay or anything, you can go to nativeblackancestry.com and check out this tribal surname tab. I've also got a
I encourage y'all to subscribe to Mike TV on YouTube, man. You know what I mean? If you're interested in this stuff, man, because I just found, me and my big brother just found out at the same time. And you better bet, you know what I'm saying? I'm the nerd in the family. So don't think I ain't finna go try to draw some paperwork and make this happen. You know what I mean? Don't think for a minute. Don't think for a second. I'm getting with Mom Dukes in the morning. Mother Earth, check this out. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. It's time to make a move now. It's time to make a move now. It's time to make a move. Okay, bro, I'm on him. Mike TV on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Black people don't let people come on, man. I'm working hard to show y'all. I'm working hard. We debunk religion. We debunk inflated stats. We debunk all this stuff here. Identity, FBA, foundational Black Americans. Ain't nobody on the internet doing it the way I'm doing it, y'all. They just tried to shut me down. I'm right back up. Right back up. And I ain't going nowhere. Unless the ancestors call me home, I ain't going nowhere. This is a movement. A movement. And I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how long it takes. It's about getting the work done. And can we get the work done? At least get this thing up to 40 likes, y'all. That's two people just unselfishly and willingly hitting that like button. The thumbs up, y'all. Two people. Two people. First name they called was Johnson's. And we identify with all 5 original Black tribes that they put into slavery, regrouped, and reclassified when they colonized this thing called America, y'all. You're looking at an indigenous individual. Huh? My brother is indigenous. My family is indigenous. My damn tribe is indigenous. Oh, I want mine. I want mine. I want mine. I told you, the people who are going against this are the very people who benefit from the lie, y'all. Now, my family gonna benefit from the truth. My family gonna, this is remarkable. This is almost like an omen. I hadn't listened to this video. For this man to call out my family name first and foremost, and we identify with all 5, y'all don't understand. To me, that is divine. That is from the ancestors. I do this work. The ancestors tapping in. That is my family. Bro, that is our family. Indigenous to this land, fool. Indigenous to this land, fool. Indigenous to what? You know what indigenous means. Indigenous to this land, fool. Get you out of here. There's someone that benefits from the lie. Get you out of here. I can see your turtle piece. So now he's looking up Reed, y'all. He's looking up Reed.
Archive, over 600 documents, family photos, newspaper clippings, book excerpts, you name it, all highlighting our Indigenous American roots. You can download these documents to your phone, to your computer, share them on social media, all that good stuff. I've even got ex-Indigenous slave interviews, Indian slave ads. The list goes on and on. And of course,
the same stuff they're telling you to stop playing victim mode, the same stuff they're telling you to stop, you know what I'm saying, to ignore. It's not true. It's propaganda. You're spreading racism. You're spreading hate. These people are saying this stuff because they don't want you to wake up. They're living off of your resources. They're living off of your money. They're living off of your land. They are benefiting from a white lie. So when we hit them with our black truths, you know what I'm saying? We get our restoration. Restoration. It's right here, y'all. It's right here. And I feel like we covered enough. Y'all should get the point. And I'm never going to let this conversation die down. Never. I don't care how many people come in here, they racist tandems and whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? Because we deserve to know the truth. We've already lived the lie. So we deserve to know the truth. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of just surviving. I want to thrive rather than survive. You see them thriving every day. You see them thriving every day. Now you know why they're thriving. Because they got a whole systemic white nationalist agenda into play, y'all. Into play. That's why they control everything. 93% of your government is controlled by who? Them. Them. Hey, can we put my sister Tammy in the chat, y'all? She just sent a bronze medal. She sent the bronze medal. Can y'all imagine how happy she is right now, knowing that her husband, and he had already knew this. He had already knew this from his father's side and his mother's side. But now it's been confirmed. He had already knew this. But look, now, see, education is the key. I love being a nerd. I love being a nerd. I love being curious. I love the fact that I doubt every damn thing. I don't trust nobody. I'm going to do the research myself. I want to know. I want to know. I don't need degrees to validate my intelligence. I don't need college to validate my intelligence. I don't need a piece of paper to tell me how smart I am. I've been this way since day one. This mind is a filing cabinet. You know what I'm saying? Big win for Tammy Welch. Yes, yes, yes. See how this works? Victory and triumph. Victory and triumph. You know what I mean? You being friendly with Knuckle. What? Friendly with Knuckle Dragon Beast. Who we talking about, Dunmore? Tammy is not a knuckle dragger. Tammy is my sister. That is my brother's wife. Tammy is my sister. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but that's family. That's family. Knuckle draggers are racist white people. You know what I'm saying? All good folks are family. There is no race associated, you know what I'm saying, with good folks and family. Thank you, Sister Dunmore. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you sending that bronze medal. But no, that's family. Chris Welch is my brother. Tammy Welch is his wife. My nephew, Colonel Sanders, is in here. I told you my family is very diverse. So when I tell you I'm not racist, I'm not racist. And I have every right to be. My grandmother was unalived by one of these races. I met her one day after elementary school. The next day, she was pow-powed and unalived by these same people at the age of 48. Doris Wright. So if I wanted to be racist, I could. But I'm not built like that. I'm not built like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not built like that. My brother had a man grab him around the neck in St. Pete or Clearwater when he was about maybe 12 to 13 years old and put a tool in his head and say, ooh, I know what I'm going to do with this new tonight. I'm going to shoot me an N-word. Ooh, YouTube, forgive me. I'm going to unalive me an N-word. My mama screamed and came to his rescue. We know what it's like. My brother ain't racist. We understand that's their content of character. That's that individual person's content of character. It doesn't mean that everyone else is associated with the same character, the same traits. We're all built different, uniquely. I don't think it's a woman alive, and I'm going to say this too. I don't think it's a black woman alive that can love my brother the way Tammy loved my brother. I can't find a black woman alive to love me the way Tammy loved my brother. So no, I can't be racist. I'm with the good folks. I'm with the good folks. I'm with the good folks. Oh, I love you, sis. You know I'm gonna represent you. Don't even worry about it. I got you. Even though you like Florida State, I like Miami. I still got you.
Of course, you can check out my new book, Reclassified, 500 Centuries of Paper Genocide. Actually, no, it's been a long day. It is 5 centuries. It's 500 years, okay? 5 centuries, 500 years.
Do y'all understand the woman who unalived my grandmother was sentenced to 18 years here in Florida? And out of those 18 years, like I did 85% when I got sentenced to 6 years here in Florida. But for some reason, she only did 3 years, y'all. And we was ordered not to go near, not to make contact with her, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? My daddy's side still living with. I just talked to my aunt today about this morning. Talking to her about the very person who unalived her mother. You see what I'm saying? So you have no clue what my family go through. You have no clue how we feel. You have no clue the hatred we have to fight in order to be the good folks that we are. Because see, there's an example to lead by. We understand that karma and energy is reciprocated. So we deal with that pain every day. But we're not here judging everyone. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, big bro. Thank you, big bro. And when I start talking about my grandma, y'all, I get a certain way. So I got to wrap this up because I know y'all can hear it in my voice. This done kind of hit me. It done kind of hit me. So I got to go, y'all. I'm sorry to leave so abruptly. You know what I'm saying? But that's some never-ending pain. That's some to deal with, man. For y'all to come on here and make the racist comments y'all make, man. We have good folks all throughout this world, no matter what race, no matter what culture. Good folks, man. And that's what I'm trying to build here. It's good. I love y'all, man. Get y'all one-on-one. Y'all stay prayed up. All that good stuff, man. I shake, because this is bothered. I'm out, man.